Hey guys, so on the blue RX-8 we have encountered a problem with the wastegate where we found out that it's leaking air through basically the actuator doesn't work, and we realized that it wasn't tight enough and it was leaking air through both bottom and top parts. So we've opened it up, cleaned it up, removed all the debris, put a bunch of Vaseline on it, lubricated everything. I also lubricated the shaft in there and put Vaseline in there so that it creates good insulation and there is no leak, because all the air was most likely escaping through the shaft into the exhaust. And now we're gonna reassemble the whole thing and see if that helps us with our wastegate problem, because wastegate was just basically not being controllable. It would just not open. It just stay closed all the time, and it has this big two massive springs which don't even open until the freaking boost reaches like 20 psi or something like that. So we're gonna remove the stronger one. We're gonna remove the little spring, just leave this one, which by my estimate is gonna make the default opening pressure somewhere at around probably 6 to 8 psi, which is perfectly fine because the rest of the pressure we can control with boost controller. And I would rather have the wastegate open in case of a failed vacuum or failed line or failed boost control. I would rather have wastegate default to like the little pressure than to, in case of a failure, having to deal with overboosting wastegate. That's the idea. So we're just going to pop all these things back together and see what happens here.
I need to screw
I don't have that thing. Alright, so we've got, see, it's held by this. One of them is lost, which actually would probably be a good idea to close, because the air is going to escape through that to the shaft, to the bottom part.
Don't unscrew too much.
The top chamber of the wastegate actuator must be airtight. It cannot leak air. If it leaks air, that means the pressure and the vacuum that creates in the top chamber that controls the movements of the wastegate becomes compromised.
Did you get all three?
It'd be cool if I had like a rubber ring just to snap on it, and close it, so it doesn't.
Or like a stretched out piece of hose?
Oh yeah, that's right, hose. Just do them. This one, maybe. Like that. Yeah.
Then you'd have to clean it out first.
Which is fine. I'm doing it just to seal off that missing bolt hole. I'm gonna put a bunch of Vaseline underneath and then just slide this thing on top.
There's already a bunch of Vaseline there.
Yeah, and hopefully that it will help us sealing that little hole. just like that.
Oh, perfect.
Alrighty then.
Oh, good thing we're getting rid of that spring because it didn't really fit that well.
Okay. Let me just stuff this into its groove. And fit perfectly.
To put it back on, it's easier to just keep it on a flat surface.
You think?
Yeah. Because you don't want it to just slide out of the vise when you're putting pressure on it.
Yeah, that's right. It makes sense. You can put it in the vise once it's caught up
Yeah.
and just tighten it up. Which one is flat? Okay. You know which way we want it? Doesn't matter.
Actually, try to...
This was the top, so this was...
This was like right around here.
Here?
Yeah. Yeah, because the wastegate went towards the inside of the car, and this went sort of out to the...
Right.
So right around there should be good.
And it's so much easier to put it back together with a single spring now.
You want me to push down on it and you turn?
Just want to make sure that it locks because it has those.
Try blowing through it.
Well, I want to tighten it up some more first. It's all slippery. I think that'll be plenty tight. You can get a screwdriver and tap it tighter a little bit. Yeah.
Where's the rubber mallet?
I think that's.
Do you want to test the...
Where's this one blowing through? Still blowing like without even resistance. This one's good.
That's the one that matters. All right, let's go.
But why is this one still leaking though? Shouldn't leak. What's leaking in it? This is not good.
Maybe it's not tight enough.
Feels like it's just like blowing like without any even resistance or anything. It's like this tightest part is closed. It's blowing through right through here where the bolts are.
Oh.
I can feel the air is coming right out. That's not good. Maybe we should open it and fix it.
Put like
Yeah, like put some seal under those bolts and close them off so that it doesn't leak.
Ah, crap. All right, open it up again.
Yeah, let's get the job done right, you know?
All right, we'll be back when we open it back up.
So we resealed everything down there on the bottom. Those three nuts in there that are like inside of there where I'm pointing, you probably can't see it, but it's okay. Basically, the 3 nuts that are holding this whole top part to the bottom. There were rubber rings inside there, so probably did not leak through it, but we put a bunch of seal gasket maker material in there and retightened everything, so that looks good. And then we discovered that the top wouldn't close flush against the bottom because of these grooves, and they're kind of like deformed a little bit and bent and have sharp edges to it. So when you put the top on the bottom, it wouldn't completely go in and kind of get closed, you know, halfway sideways. So with a little bit tapping with a rubber mallet, it popped in, and now we should be able to close it. So we're gonna do that after I install the membrane back on the shaft. We'll button everything up, and we're going to close it up again and see if we can hold vacuum. Then
Might be a little bit harder to tap it in with the springs there.
yeah, might be.
Well, I guess one of us can hold it.
We'll find out. We will find out. Okay. You know what? I want to do something. I want to put some of the gasket maker on there too. Where's that screwdriver here? For better sealing and protection.
Yeah, just stick some in the hole. Or just all around.
Mm-hmm. That hole.
I could have just put it on the inside of the ring.
Yeah. Good. I will. Where's the ring? There, it's all popped out, which is good. Okay, just tuck this in. Put some more Vaseline on top. Spring back on. All right, this is how we go. So put that on. I'm gonna watch that close properly this time, if we can.
Yeah, you want me to just stop filming for a second and hold it down?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, now I have Richard putting the wastegate back in. And hooking everything up. And we're going to see how our boost is controlled now. Ah, my coffee. So just to give him, while Richard is putting the wastegate in, just to give you an overview, here's what we've done with the boost controller. We have this HDI boost controller, so here's where we put the solenoid in. And it's right now wired for dual band wastegate, but we're going to rewire it for a single band wastegate because the lower portion of the wastegate for some reason is still leaking air and doesn't hold vacuum or boost, so it's kind of useless. So we're going to rewire it in a way that is supposed to be for just a single band wastegate.
Is that how we had it on the other RX-8? Because you knew like the...
What?
Is that how we had it on the other RX-8? Because you knew that wastegate was like only for like 8 PSI or something?
Yeah. Because when we were just running off of wastegate, it would not overboost. It just held like 8 PSI. And, oh, where's the key? Okay. Oh shit, this can't open it this way. Here we have our HDI boost controller hooked up. Pardon the mess. Here it is. It is hooked up. We have our boost gauge sensor here, and boost gauge is installed over there. Also HDI boost gauge. We've got the boost controller here. You can click on it, it opens up, and you right now it's set to minimum, and then you can just turn it clockwise, and the more you turn, the more boost is going to produce. So it's hooked.
It's in there.
And this thing controls the solenoid, and then the solenoid is beginning to pulsate, opening and closing the passage of air. And here's our boost source, the air, so the source of boost. So it's going to go and apply the pressure onto the top part of the wastegate actuator, keeping the wastegate closed until it reaches the boost setting that we desire, and then after that it'll stop applying the boost and the wastegate will open. We'll stop applying pressure, really, not the boost, but whatever. So that's pretty much the idea. All right, and now we're gonna button everything up, rewire everything, and then we're going to try to see if it works.